Well, hey, now it's the Rob from 106.1 Kiss FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting, the one, the only, the incomparable, the damn near flawless Jerry Valeri.
Damn near. They're still flaws, but they're harder to find.
Well, I mean, I've got Ramblin' Jerry Valeri can be your nickname today.
He's a rambling man. At least 45 seconds too long.
Ramblin' Jerry V. Good morning.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I feel like I'm doing okay. I've layered up today. I don't know what the weather's like in Indiana, but it's like 46 in the mornings here in Pennsylvania, and I'm not ready to make the emotional commitment to getting out a jacket just yet.
Me neither.
So I just put on sweaters and stuff.
I'm still doing shorts and short sleeves. We don't need the sweaters yet here.
I lost a little bit of weight before. I missed being 50 pounds heavier because I was like a nuclear reactor.
You lost a good bit of weight.
I would just, yeah, I'm still fat. So what did that say? Like,
yeah, I think you look great.
I just generate a bunch of heat. I was with two friends the other night, and the one said the same thing. He said, "You look great," and the other friend said, "Slow down.
Here,
you look better."
Pits going now. Yeah.
Oh, you're pitting like. Oh, if I took this blackie off, I've been pitting like crazy.
Yeah. It is still like I still associate because I knew you for so long as like you weren't like crazy fat, but you were certainly heavier. But you had the long hair, and you were dressed like more of a homeless guy. And I know that guy's there, even though he's been cleaned up.
He still lives in here, but I've been pottery barned by my wife. Is what I call it.
So, good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We've got our predictions episode for WWE No Mercy coming up.
Love the predictions episode. It's my favorite thing about the brand extension is now we do 2 a month.
Yeah, we do have plenty of predictions episodes. They're my favorite to do as well. Last time during the Raw one, we only had one disagreement. We'll see what it's like today. I kind of want to make this like a prediction sandwich because I had a few little things about SmackDown, and then I had a few little things just going on in the world of wrestling that maybe we can talk about if we have time when the show's over, when the predictions are over.
Let's zip and zap.
So I had 2 notes only on SmackDown. Number one, and this one was kind of like tangible. We can play with this one because this was another segment-long thing. It had to do with Orton and Bray Wyatt.
Right. They played almost the whole episode they played with it.
So going into the first commercial break, they did the first segment with Randy Orton. It was just like Randy upside down on the Titantron. And my note was that Randy Orton playing mind games is okay, but it felt a little phoned in to me. That was before it became a show-wide thing where it stopped being phoned in and became more of a focal point, which is good. And now I don't know if I agree with that anymore because I think that the more mind games Randy Orton plays, Bray Wyatt is going to seriously suffer. Bray Wyatt needs to be the mind game guy as opposed to Randy Orton. What do you think about this?
Well, that's why I was very leery when Randy Orton started doing the mind games, and then he trapped Bray Wyatt in the storage container. I was like, oh God. I think we all kind of knew what was going to happen. At least I thought he's going to vanish. I just thought he's going to vanish from it. Bray has to win the mind games.
Yeah,
like if Randy's going to play the mind games, that's cool. That's fine. Try to beat the monster, beat the god at his own game. But he needs to lose. He needs to not just lose the match, but he needs to lose the entire mind game situation, and he did.
Yeah.
So I was satisfied with it. I thought that it played out the way that I thought it played out predictably. I thought it played out well.
Help me out. I don't remember how this resolved. I may have started dozing a little bit towards the end of SmackDown.
Okay, so the first time Bray's locked in it, he freaks out. There's a camera inside the storage container, and he freaks out. And then the second time, he's still freaking out a little bit, and then he's going nuts. And he turns the chair around. And he's like, I see you. I got you. And then he sits down, and then it cuts to commercial. And it comes back again, and he's singing a weird song. And then all of a sudden, he gets really quiet. He takes an uncomfortably long pause, which was necessary. I thought the timing was perfect. And then he's like, his acting was great. He was like, oh, so good to see you. I've missed you, Abigail.
I remember that one.
He has an Abigail vision, and then the next time we go back to the storage container, Randy Orton's going to let him out for some reason, opens the container, and he's gone. Randy's mad, throws the chair. Randy's confused and looks a little scared,
Hey,
and I thought
that's actually awesome.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you have to do it. Randy thinks he has him trapped, and Bray is now gone. And I think, this is going to bleed right into my prediction. I think they are framing this. They should be framing this to make Bray Wyatt finally be scary and dominant. And they're going to have to do it at the expense of Randy Orton because that's the corner they painted themselves into.
Oh boy, now I'm getting all second guessy, but I think I'm gonna stick on my guns. Okay, thank you for explaining that to me. You did a better job than SmackDown did, because I don't know when these shows get to the hour mark is when I kind of start to get a little restless.
Right, and they were mixing it up because they were coming out of commercials with it, and then sometimes going into commercials. So it was. You could have skipped out by it, and if you were fast forwarding and missed it,
which I did. So, okay, thanks for clearing that up. That actually kind of changes things. That's actually that's good writing, I feel like.
Yeah.
All right. So then the other thing that was also well written was nothing but good things to say about the Dolphumentary segment with the Miz and Dolph.
Did you mark out with the Spirit Squad? Because I did.
I sure did. I absolutely did. Yeah. Mikey was always my favorite of the Spirit Squad. I thought he always had this goofy, over the top spirit. Even in a group that's supposed to be goofy, over the top spirit, he personified that, I feel like. So I always like Kenny. Yeah. So I thought they were the two best to have. And then they're doing the cheer, and it was reminding people about Dolph's past, and that was just really effective, I thought.
They made me care so much about that match, and I already kind of did because I like the Miz. I haven't been a Dolph Ziggler fan, but I'm compelled. And this match, it's a close second to being, I think, the main event to me personally. I know it's not the main event for the show, but it is. It's the match I think a lot of people are invested in. People are tuning in to see a Miz Ziggler pay-per-view match.
I think I'm most excited for this match than even including the main event. I think I am.
I would be if the ending wasn't so predictable.
I don't know that it is.
I think it is. We'll get to the predictions in a minute.
Well, I mean, that's all I got. I mean, I just had the Dolphumentary, and then I'm ready to go.
Well, and I'll say this. I thought this was by far my favorite promo I've heard Dean Ambrose cut. Like, I loved it when he was Mr. Hustle, and he was in Cena's face, and I love it. You had heel AJ, face Cena, and in between, I'll just beat everybody's butt, Dean Ambrose. I'm excited for the main event. Like that was a great segment to get me fired up for it. I enjoyed it.
I might need to rewatch that because I could tell something special was going on, but I was doing something else.
I enjoyed it. And when he said, "You know what? I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to do me, and I'm going to beat Dean Ambrose." You have fun being the guy that plays John Cena on TV.
That was a great line.
Great line.
Yeah, agreed.
Great line. So I thought that was good. I thought it was a good show. Decent stuff.
SmackDown is very well written, and their brand exclusive pay-per-view, No Mercy, happens on Sunday. We are excited, and we've got 7 matches. We know of an 8th. We don't even really, do we talk about Kurt Hawkins? I feel like we don't even know who his opponent is.
They're going to debut him, and I'm picking him to win.
I'm going to pick him to win, and I'll even go as far as to say I bet you he'll beat Kane. You want to pick an opponent?
Boy, they won't let Bray Wyatt beat Kane. Why would they let Kurt Hawkins beat Kane?
Well, because I mean, oh man, I can't think of any Kurt Hawkins lines, but why can't I think of any of those dumb things that he says?
Because they're stupid. It's a Chuck Norris joke.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. That's why I can't think of any. All right. So, do you want to pick who his opponent will be?
No, I'll just say Kane because I could give a flying poop in the basket.
Sure. Okay. Then let's start with let's see, which one do I have first? Let's start with Baron Corbin and Jack Swagger, if you don't mind, Jerry. What do you think's going to go on there? I
think Baron Corbin's going to pick up the win. I think that they did the whole tap thing on SmackDown. Jack Swagger, I think they want him to be something special on SmackDown, but they're trying to push Baron Corbin here, and they put him over Dolph Ziggler at one point. So why would they waste that already? So. They put time equity into Baron Corbin. I think they're going to do Baron Corbin as a winner.
Locking in on Baron Corbin?
Locking in.
All right, Jerry's locking in. You were worried about us having all the same predictions. Already, we're off to a disagreement. I disagree, and I think that Baron Corbin will lose. My thought process here is, by the way, I'm locking in. That was the sound of me locking in on Jack Swagger. Why bring Jack Swagger over to SmackDown to have him fail there?
Because nobody wanted him on Raw anymore.
So why not have him be a jobber on Raw as opposed to a jobber on SmackDown?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this could be a long-standing feud, so you could be right, but I think they're going to let Baron Corbin get a win back here on the pre-show.
You think it's going to be the pre-show?
I do.
Could be. Yeah.
I do.
All right, so there's that. Yeah, I disagree. I actually feel strongly that Swagger will win this. I feel like they're bringing him to SmackDown to give him a shot in the arm as opposed to a boot in the butt. Personally.
I'm sick of him.
Perfect. All right, so we're locked in. Our first disagreement. The second match I have is Carmella taking on Nikki Bella.
Okay, do you want to go first? Or you want me to?
I don't mind saying this. I actually feel like I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think I'm going to have the weird prediction. I'm actually taking Carmella, and I'm locking in.
You're locking in on Carmella.
Locking in on Carmella over Nikki Bella.
It's not that weird of a prediction, but I flipped on this one a couple times. I'm taking Nikki Bella on this one.
Yeah, this one's not easy to predict. It's Nikki Bella. That's Valeria locking in. And she's seen as pretty much she's one of the darling divas, you know, one of the people who got the women's division to where it is today. Not in the work rate sense, but to the sense that it was in her hands for a long time. And she's kind of untouchable. She's kind of the star. She's kind of the queen of the Divas division. Having someone beat her, I think, is kind of a little crazy to think. But I think that they really want to establish this Carmella thing. And I feel like this feud has some depth now. And I think that Carmella might get the victory.
I'd like to see Carmella win it. I think that Nikki Bella and the Cena Machine will win. I think that she will win this one. And she might lose the war, but she's going to win this battle.
Okay. I actually think that she might win the war, but will lose this battle.
Okay.
So, all right. So we're 2 matches in. We have 2 disagreements already. I told you we'd have some.
Yep.
All right. So the next match that I've got written down, let me jump around a little bit. Let's go with the next women's match, Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch.
I feel like we're both taking Becky Lynch here. They're not taking the belt off of her right now.
I feel like it is silly to pick anyone besides Becky Lynch in this match. So we're both locking in on that one.
Are they trying to make Alexa Bliss look like Harley Quinn, or was that an accident?
That was going to be my note too. That couldn't have been an accident. But I have to tell you, I forget if we like her or we don't like her. But I thought she did a good job on Tuesday. I
think she's really pretty and she's really talented, and I like her. I think she's going to be good.
When she was walking to the ring doing that Harley Quinn thing, I was like losing my mind with how good she looked.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, I mean, I'm sure she's not like on the level of a Charlotte and a Bayley and a Sasha and a Becky. But if you factor in what the Divas were like 2 years ago, I think she's fine in that level.
Exactly. I think she's good. I think she's going to be good. And at some point she may win the SmackDown Women's Championship, but it's not going to be right now. It's not going to be right after they finally give it to Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I agree. And so I think this is, if any title will not change hands, it's going to be the SmackDown Women's title this week.
Exactly.
So, all right. Next on the docket, I've got, which one do I want to go with here? Let's go with the tag titles. Heath, Slater, and Rhino versus the Usos.
Breaks my heart, but I think they're giving it to the Usos.
Oh, I have that too. I thought I was going to be going on a limb.
No, I think they're going to give it to the Usos. They've done what they needed to do with Heath, Slater, and Rhino.
Right. That was one of my thoughts.
I think that you want to really add another level to the Uso American Alpha feud, and you put belts involved. You put the championships there. And I think it's a really long way for them to get to American Alpha, probably being triumphant in like 3 months or so and having the championships.
You're taking the words right out of my mouth. Yeah. So here's what I think about this. This was a kind of a side project that was a success. It got Heath, Slater, and Rhino into the company, and it got them over. It got the Usos to be a heel team, and not only that, a great heel team. It took themselves from a good team to a great team. And then finally, I think the end goal here is to get the straps onto American Alpha, and the Usos will be the liaison between the current champs and the future champs.
I think it's great because everyone, when we first looked at that tournament, we thought, oh, it's going to go to American Alpha. Instead, they put American Alpha in a position where they're looking up and they're fighting and they're constantly climbing and they keep getting cheap shotted and hurt, but they're not really getting hurt, which is the best kind of getting hurt in wrestling. So I think it's awesome. I think it's good writing. Again, winning again. They're not rushing anything. They're taking their time, and I'm actually looking forward to a long Usos and American Alpha battle for the tag titles, because I like what they've done with the Usos now.
I was really banking on us disagreeing on that. I thought you would take Slater and Rhino, but okay.
There was never a doubt on that one.
Really? Okay. All right, cool. And then let's go with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. Now I'm really nervous because you laid it out with so much sense.
Yeah, I don't think I need to go back into why I'm picking Bray Wyatt, but I'm picking Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, we already talked about it. And here's why I'm going to stick with Orton, and I'm not confident, especially after the beginning of this episode. You're probably right now, but I'll stick with my gut, and I'll tell you why. I'm like that guy that's been friend-zoned with a chick. And what I mean by that is, like, every time I try to make a move with Bray Wyatt, I keep getting slapped. You know what I mean? And because I'm always like, I always want to believe there's something there with Bray, that they haven't lost their crush with Bray Wyatt, because Bray has so much to bring, but they keep jobbing him out and they've handled him so poorly. And so now every time
they won't even let him beat Kane.
Right.
Like, God almighty.
So every time I try to put my arm around this chick that's got me in the friend zone, she moves my arm away. I can't be, by the way, there's the pit stain. I can't put my arm around Bray anymore. I'm in the friend zone with Bray. I want Bray to win. I just can't on a predictions episode anymore say Bray Wyatt will win because he needs to win. I can't keep saying it.
You can't. I'm going to pick him. The only reason I have some doubt is because Randy Orton, he lost huge to Brock Lesnar, like embarrassingly lost to Brock Lesnar.
There's that too. He's on a cold streak too.
The last pay-per-view he had, Bray Wyatt took him out. You know, so it's definitely Redemption Sunday for Randy Orton. But I think now that he's trying to play mind games, they're not going to write Bray Wyatt. They're not going to write Bray Wyatt into losing this match. Now, what do we do in the event that this match never ends? Because with Bray Wyatt, it's completely possible that the lights go out and something goes all screwy, and then he just vanishes or whatever. How do we settle that?
Oh, well, that's just a push. No contest.
Okay.
You know, and we'll remind everyone that when we talk about any title matches, when we predict winners, we predict who's leaving with the titles, not necessarily, disqualification count.
All because I won on a technicality.
No, we've had that established. I know with Steve, we had that established.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then I'm only missing two, right? We've got the main event. We've got the Dolph stuff. Let's go with we'll go with Dolph and Miz. All right. This is not easy to predict. I think it is. Do you really?
I think it's so easy to predict, and only because I don't think SmackDown can afford to have Dolph Ziggler not be there. I think that the minute they made it a career match, it became easy for me. I will be pleasantly surprised, and not even because I don't like Dolph Ziggler. I've come around on him since he came to SmackDown. I'll admit that. I will be pleasantly surprised if he loses, because it makes Miz even more established as this dominant, like, Intercontinental champ, and it's great. And they can bring Dolph back later. But I don't think that they're going to do that unless Dolph's got a movie deal or something that I don't know about. I think they're going to have Dolph win.
Well, the only thing, because I know you avoid the news sites, which I kind of like that you do.
Yeah.
I've seen some pieces going around that they might be looking to transition him to a backstage producer type role.
Okay.
But nothing official, nothing to the point that I want to believe it that I would pick him to lose. I don't. I picked off winning as well.
Okay, and you thought we'd disagree on that one, probably.
No, I didn't know. When you were saying it was easy, I honestly didn't know who you were going to say. I really didn't.
I think it's only easy because they're not going to say goodbye to Dolph Ziggler. Although it would be great from a storytelling perspective if he gave his career up and then comes back before Mania to challenge Miz or something like that, or comes back somehow. But I think Dolph Ziggler wins it and has the belt, and this feud is not over.
So how explain to me how you feel about Dolph, because I know you've been very critical over him when he was in the main event feud with Dean Ambrose right after the brand extension. It seems like you may have turned the corner on him. Is that fair to say?
I have, because he doesn't seem like a cardboard cutout, or he doesn't. That's not what I mean. He doesn't seem like a Shawn Michaels cartoon. He doesn't. Okay. He doesn't. He seems like Dolph Ziggler now. He seems like a guy that's literally frustrated with the dumb gimmicks he's had and the career that he's kind of had and the things that he's had to do. I feel like he's more relatable now. He's more personable. They're writing him as a person now, not like the guy that stole Rusev's girlfriend and then made, when I came back to wrestling after taking a break from it, Rob, the Dolph Ziggler I was introduced to was the one that was like hooking up with Summer Rae and Lana, and it was just boring to me. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, like, I like that. I like emotional, real promos, and I like that Miz has him backed into a corner. I think it's great.
He's been the king of that real emotional promo thing that you like. So, yeah, I mean, I agree. But I never was cold on Dolph. I've always liked Dolph. And then there's the main event. And I don't have anything. I'll go first. I have nothing exciting to add to this. I think AJ Styles wins because AJ Styles.
I flip-flopped. I've been like a fish out of water. Just
okay. Well, I'm excited to hear what you think.
Each guy, I think you can argue that each guy could win it intelligently. I think you could also argue that each guy in this match should win it intelligently. There's a good reason and good explanation for absolutely each person winning, maybe not for each person losing. And that is why I also take AJ Styles. I think it would make sense for John Cena to win the title here. And I think it would make even more sense because they need to get it off of him before Mania. So at WrestleMania, he can break the title record. I think that's ultimately what they want to do at some point. They don't want to give it to him 16 times. They want to give it to him 17 times. So the 16th time has to happen. Dean Ambrose, he's turning it up. Again, we've talked about this. I don't know if it has to do with the Stone Cold call-out or what, but I feel like he has definitely amped it up. His intensity is there. His promos have been really good, and his matches don't seem as lackluster as they did. I agree with that. I think all of this is a byproduct of AJ Styles coming in and being the high tide that lifts all ships. And I think that's why AJ Styles wins, because it makes no sense to take the championship off the best person on your roster.
Okay. Then
that's it. It's AJ Styles, right? It's AJ Styles.
I mean, I think so, but you make good points. I mean,
will you be shocked if Cena wins? Will you be upset? Will you be upset if anyone other than AJ wins?
I don't think Dean Ambrose makes a lot of sense. I think that would be a bad move. I think Cena makes more sense, but still not more sense than Styles.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I don't know that I'll be upset, but I think
where do we go from here? Where do we go from here then?
I don't know, but somewhere else. And when you combine Cena, I think he's about to take more time off for that silly Fox show that he does.
Who else on the roster can challenge for the title?
But then again, you can make people like you can have Orton ready to go by some Survivor Series,
right?
Or I mean, you can pick any. I mean, especially anymore, people can go from the bottom of the card to the very top, or Finn Balor can go from not even on the roster to the champion overnight. Yeah. I mean, and look, it goes both ways. Dolph Ziggler was a main event player for a month, and then now he's back firmly in the second tier. I mean, it goes very quickly today. It wasn't like that before, but it is like that today.
So to recap, Rob, we disagreed on 1, 2, 3 matches. We've disagreed. I picked Baron Corbin. You picked Jack Swagger.
Right.
I picked Nikki Bella. You picked Carmella. And I picked Bray Wyatt, and you picked Randy Orton. Those are the 3 matches that are going to determine who has the lock of brilliance. Yeah. And so far, it's been me for 2 pay-per-views.
It has been, yeah, for the two insignificant pay-per-views. That's right.
I'm the champion. I have 2. You have 1. You have 1 dumb one, and I have 2 great ones.
I have 1 great one. You have 2 dumb ones.
I don't know how you can say that. I have the last 2, and I've done it back-to-back.
Which would you rather have, the SummerSlam or Backlash? I had to think for a second what it was called.
Backlash and Clash of Champions.
That's right. Well, I forgot about that one too. I wonder why. I remember back in the day when they referred to the big 5 pay-per-views. You know what it was? It was Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, King of the Ring, Survivor Series, and Backlash.
I like to combine them both now and call them Backlash of Champions.
Right.
Because that's my...
Well, and you could continue your reign. Hey, let me ask you about one more thing before we go off the air, because some big news. Do you have thoughts about WWE supposedly attaining the rights officially to TNA's library?
I think it's great. We talked about this yesterday, and you were shocked at how little I know about TNA. You mentioned Billy Corgan, and I was like, Smashing Pumpkins? And you're like, oh boy, you've been out of it with TNA.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's in. My understanding is Billy now has control of the company. You know, I'm assuming it's all official what I've read.
I think it's cool because now I can watch some TNA stuff on the network if they want. But we also discussed, we think that it's all because of AJ Styles. They basically bought AJ Styles' library.
Well, I think I don't think it's all because of that. I think that they'd find a way to profit off of having that library, especially I'm assuming it did not come at a huge price tag to them. Like I was telling Jerry, I bet you if they release one AJ Styles DVD set, you know, like 1 3-disc set on AJ Styles, they could probably make their money back on the rights to the library. And
I would assume.
And then even still, you can release, you know, best of TNA discs, and you can use AJ Styles of montages, and you can use all sorts of stuff. You can make highlight reels, and like how many times have they referenced AJ Styles' past without ever being specific? You know, so there's obviously some sort of value to his life before WWE to them. You know?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
What are you drawing?
I'm making a sign.
Backlash Mania.
Listen, this sign is really indicative of how little I care about TNA. I can't. All I hear are like it's like a dog whistle. We start talking about TNA.
Well, then one last question.
But I do think it's cool. I think it's cool that the WWE has that more content for people. For fans, the only question is like, do they want their wrestlers? Like, because they could probably go get them now too.
Honestly, Jerry, I think they could have always gotten whoever they wanted,
even Kurt Angle,
with the exception of the first year or two. Yeah.
Okay.
I think if they want Angle badly now, all they have to do is give him less dates, and they can have him.
I'd love for them to get Angle back. I think that'd be great.
He's my one wish. I'm still not holding my breath on it. But would you ever, if all the TNA pay-per-views went to like the network, would you ever sit down and watch like one from 10 years ago if I told you it was great?
I would watch the one that I promised you that I would watch and I didn't watch.
What if I said I'd rather you watch a different one? I proposed one. I mean, I don't care if you watch TNA or not. It doesn't matter to me. You did screw me out of the one. Here's
what I'll say. Back when Rob was in State College, Pennsylvania, and we'd hang out all the time, we would do something I lovingly refer to as main events.
Yeah.
And I would go to Rob, and Rob would stand in front of me, and he would set the stage, and he would tell me about this one match that he wanted me to see, and he would set it up, and then he'd say, and now the main event, and we'd do it after Raw.
Yeah, so it'd be like the real main event.
The real main event to Raw is this match, and it would be like Triple H and The Rock going at it in a specific match or something like that. It was always fun. So whenever you recommend something to me, I will watch it. You haven't let me down.
But do you have an interest in it? Like, what if I didn't recommend one? Would you ever just tune one on?
To see AJ Styles, maybe. I'd like to see him in the early beginnings.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, then let's wrap it up. We've got our predictions. We disagree on 3 of them. So we're going to be paying special attention to the Baron Corbin match. We'll be paying attention to the Carmella Nikki Bella match, and of course the Randy Orton Bray Wyatt match. That's the only
way we were going to pay attention to those matches anyway.
That's what I was about to say. At least we disagree on the ones we don't care about.
Right.
For myself, the Rob, my tag team partner, Mr. Jerry Valeri, we'll be back with a review episode on Monday here on 1061 evansville.com.
I'll be 3-peating. Get that lock ready.
It is a B pay-per-view, so yeah, that makes sense that you would win.